are. Thank you for joining us for the first of our quarterfinal matches. It is the #1 seed, Brad Shepard, versus Todd Anderson, sneaking in 8th place. For Brad Shepard, this is his third top 8 here on the SCG Tour. For Todd, it's his 31st. So Brad's got 28 more to go to catch him. But this weekend, Brad's been real good. On the play, Brad has kept a 6-card hand to Todd's 7. And these decks, I would say, this weekend, they've probably been the 2 decks we have seen the most of.
Yes. Both very powerful decks. Winding Constrictor, a huge upgrade for these green-black aggressive decks, as well as Walking Ballista. And of course, Jeskai Saheeli, a deck now with a 2-card combo.
Yeah, Todd starts with a Traverse into Walking Ballista. Brad has 3 lands in his opener. He does not have a white source yet. So you see, we'll start with Brad, turn 3. His first decision is going to be Oath of Chandra versus Saheeli Rai. Also could hold up Void Shatter. And he's going to go with the Planeswalker, get a little scrying going, see if he can't hit that 4th land drop.
Yeah, getting Saheeli on the table early significantly influences the way your opponent has to play the game. The scrying action also helps him try to find that white source that he needs.
Yeah, scries to the bottom. Now, Saheeli's may not be long for this game. Todd's got a lot of options here. Among them, Ruin His Path. He has 2 copies in the main. And that's what he'll do. He'll shoot down the Planeswalker and send 1 upstairs. Back over to Brad. He does find a land. It's Wandering Fumarole, though, so still no white mana. And he's not pulling the trigger yet on this Oath of Chandra either.
Yeah, he's leaving up a counterspell for now. He has Nahiri in his hand, but no white source to cast it.
Mindrak Demon from Todd Anderson will be met with a Void Shatter. Brad, a draw here. It would have been a great spot for Nahiri if he hit the white. He still does hit his land drops, which is looking pretty great. But Wandering Fumarole was the land for the turn. So he's 5 lands, but they are all just blue and red.
And holdings look to be Saheeli Nahiri. That's not very significant in this matchup.
Not against this Verdurous Gearhulk. Todd makes an 8/8 on 5 and passes back. For Shepard, draw was not a land, but it's an Anticipate, so maybe he can get some work done. It looks like he found his white source in the top 3.
Unfortunately, one that enters the battlefield tapped.
Yeah, it's Inspiring Vantage. Now, this might not be all bad, right? If Brad takes 8 off the Gearhulk, he'll at least get to use Nahiri to remove the creature. It looks like, though, he's going to cast Saheeli Rai this turn as well. Yes, Todd can kill it, but at least Brad will gain 8 life when it happens.
Yeah. 8 is starting to get into the realm where life gain on its own is looking kind of playable.
Half.
Yeah.
Right?
8 versus 17, that is a significant attack.
Back over to Todd Anderson. He's got a good spot. Todd has control of the board. He's got 4 cards in his hand to Brad's 1. A little heavy up on control cards, though, for Todd. Some lands, Grasp of Darkness. He may not have an answer for Nahiri just yet.
And if he's light on threats, then getting this Gearhulk Nahiri is a bad spot for him.
See Oath of Chandra there. Brad sneaking 2 damage onto Todd that turn when he casts Saheeli Rai. Todd Anderson will take a turn off damage to remove the Kaladesh Planeswalker. Followed up with Traverse the Ulfenwald. Artifact, creature, sorcery, land. That one's online. We'll see what he wants to grab.
Yep, the Evolving Wilds this turn enables Delirium here.
And it's kind of neat. Brad Shepard. Deck lists are face up. Brad has 2 Fumigates in the deck. However, only has 1 white source. We'll see how much Todd wants to respect that.
With Brad down to just 2 cards and missing on white so long, Fumigate seems like an unlikely card to be in his hand.
Yeah, I mean, you could have, like, what, Fumigate and another white source? And just never have the second white? Brad Shepard's going to play that Nahiri, though, now that he finally gets to use white mana. She will exile away the Verdurous Gearhulk, leaving just Grim Flare. on the board. But Grimflare's going to be big enough to attack the Planeswalker.
And that Oath of Chandra is going to shock Todd, but he's still got quite a bit of life.
Yeah, 8 more Planeswalkers to go, and then we got him. Grimflare takes down the Nahiri. However, no follow-up threat from Todd.
And the land that turn was Hissing Quagmire. If he already had one in play, you could have taken down the Nahiri and gotten a trigger off of his Grimflayer by attacking Brad, but no such luck.
Now, both players looking for something good. It's going to be Rishkar from Todd Anderson. That will be hit by Void Shatter from Bradley. It's his last card. So Todd, 6 free damage here. It's going to be the creature land, Hissing Quagmire, plus the Grimflayer. So deals 6. Brad down to 11. And looks like Todd will bin 2 lands and put a Mindwrack Demon on top. Draw from Brad. He's really looking for something like a blue Gearhulk, something that can help stabilize him. Though even that's hard. Grasp of Darkness in Todd's hand. And he will be able to convert. Another hit, Sheppard down to 7, and another top 3. Todd looking to put the finishing touches on this. Thanks to Grimflayer, he is going to outdraw Brad the more and more as we go on.
So now Todd knows the top cards of his deck, and he just picked up the Mindwrack Demon. So he has to question whether or not he wants to mill those cards or commit the Demon. The nice thing about Demon is it's able to fly over if Brad's able to produce a Torrential Gearhulk.
Yeah, that's kind of neat, right? So, yeah, he did stack the deck, but now with the Grimflayer trigger. So now he does mill with Mindwrack Demon. Well, if it resolves.
Right.
Brad has to hold on the play. Glimmer of Genius from Sheppard. That was his draw.
That is an above-average draw step. Tempo negative, but selection very positive.
Blue Gearhulk. Brad takes that one, scries the other one to the bottom, draws. We'll see if the Demon resolves. Yes, it does. Todd's going to mill. And a pass. Sheppard may be looking for a Fumigate. He finds Saheeli Rai. Keep in mind, Todd has kept up Grasp of Darkness in his hand in case something like the Saheeli combo were to show up.
It also breaks up Wandering Fumarole as a blocker. It's a desperate line if that's what Brad's up to, but he has enough lands in play to combo off when he has both of the pieces.
Pass of the turn from Sheppard. He's got a Gearhulk in hand, the Torrential Gearhulk. However, that may not be able to save him in the face of Todd's Grasp of Darkness. And for both these guys, trample.
Right.
Another Demon from Todd. Kind of laying. See whether Bradley lets that resolve. Looks like he will. This is giving actually Brad more of an opportunity, right? If now Todd, I believe, can survive the turn. Before, if he had activated Quagmire and swung, it would have been lethal.
Right now, he has 8 power of trample he can attack with. If there's a Torrential Gearhulk, he'll only connect for 6.
Right, so Brad will go to 1. If Gearhulk can maybe find a Fumigate, then Brad's got a shot?
Yeah. The Gearhulk, that Glimmer, try to find that sweeper.
I think so. There's no real way for Todd to know that. If he knew it was exactly Gearhulk is playing around, he could have activated Quagmire and then swung, and I believe won that way with the Grasp. You have to just know your opponent's hand completely to make that line. And Todd is going to swing with both. This is actually dangerous. So if Brad plays a Gearhulk, which is going to, and casts Glimmer, Todd might not be able to use that Grasp, right? If he does, then Brad just wins if he finds the combo.
Yeah. Yeah, it just leaves him cold to that.
I don't know if he
His
can do
demons
that.
are both lethal in the air next turn, so dealing with the Gearhulk does not seem essential.
Right, so Gearhulk will block Grimflayer, and you see rather than use Grasp of Darkness, Todd just bins the Grimflayer and puts top Brad down to 3, which is really strong. An untap here from Sheppard. If he has 8th land negate Jeskai and Saheeli, And Feldar Guardian, right? Then this works? And he gets him.
That looks right to me. I believe he's missing exactly one piece. I see a basic plains, a Saheeli, no Guardian.
I got another. Oh, no Guardian. I got another one, Ryan. How about this? Harness Lightning on a demon. Okay, that's gonna work, right?
Saheeli,
Do you see where I'm going?
Hulk,
Yeah,
Harness Lightning, your other
that
demon.
was my. You read my mind. And Brad Shepard already on that play. Saheeli copying Gear Hulk. Shepard's making a game out of this. Yeah, kill the other demon. All right, then. A swing with the 5/6. And there's a land in hand, and if Shepard has a counter spell, this is actually a great spot he's got Todd in. Don't count it out just yet. Oh, yeah, another 2 damage, by the way, off that Saheeli and that Oath of Chandra.
Yeah.
That's starting to add up. Go back to Todd. He got Bradley to 3, but how does he do the last points of damage? His hand was a Grasp of Darkness going into this turn. I believe the draw was Rishkar. And I think Shepard may have just taken this game. Oh, wow.
He's in a much better
yeah.
spot than he was a turn ago, right? So Todd can activate his Quagmire Rishkar to make it a lethal attacker and try to trade with the Gear Hulk.
Right, okay, so Shepard would have to trade. I do like that. If he makes that play, then Saheeli's on the board and he's just dead to Guardian, right?
Yes.
Okay. I like that less.
What else are you going to do?
I mean...
He has Grasp of Darkness, 3 mana, 2/2 in his hand. All right, looks like Todd's intention is to try to hold the fort.
Activates Hissing Quagmire, plays Rishkar, putting a counter on the Hissing Quagmire, and the Rishkar itself leaves up Grasp of Darkness. Bradley, end step, Anticipate. Ooh. See another Glimmer in the top 3.
So this line, assuming that Shepard doesn't have Guardian counterspell, it can protect him against the combo.
Well, I mean, what if you don't even go for the combo? What if you just play Guardian and blink the Gear Hulk?
I mean, there's a lot of bad stuff
yeah,
that
I mean,
can happen
I'm saying
here.
if you have Guardian, you might not even try to, like, you know, blink Gear Hulk, get some value. It's fine. Scry from Saheeli keeps the card on top. And he's got the Guardian. That was what Bradley anticipated into.
He can Guardian Saheeli Gear Hulk. Attack for 10.
Felidar Guardian is the play. Targets Saheeli Rai. Saheeli Rai back into play. -1 targeting Torrential Gear Hulk, which I really like. Getting back Anticipate. Remember here that that's a new Saheeli Rai, so Oath of Chandra is triggering again.
Yep. Todd's at 8, so 1 Gear Hulk plus that Oath hit is just shy of lethal.
But he'll have to block one of the 2 Gear Hulks, and he can't just grasp one of them to make it 1 power. How about this? Bradley's going to play another Felidar Guardian for another Saheeli for another Gear Hulk. And Ryan, I think this is lethal.
This looks mighty lethal.
You got 3 5-power attackers. We said that, saw this last time Shepard played the deck. The combo of his deck isn't Saheeli plus Felidar Guardian. It's Torrential Gear Hulk plus everything else. Todd hoping that Shepard misses the trigger, but he will not.
Yep, he grasps 1 Gear Hulk, blocks another, takes 6, and the Oath is the last 7th and 8th point.
And there you go, Brad Shepard. A comeback win off a mulligan to 6. Spends a long time trying to find that white source, but when he does, he turns it around and takes the first game from Todd Anderson.
I'm loving the way that Shepard is playing this deck.
So yeah, what I'm learning from this is that this is a combo deck where you never combo. You just or the combo is blue Gear Hulk. This is just the Torrential Gear Hulk deck.
Right. I have Torrential Gear Hulk and 2 cards that go infinite together or way past good enough with Torrential Gear Hulk.
Right. Yeah, you don't need infinite creatures when 3 Gear Hulks is just definitely enough.
Yeah, I could do infinite damage, or I could draw like 8 cards and attack you for 100.
really strong. And because he did the Saheeli's copying Gearhulks, just he was never. You know, Grasp of Darkness was never a card. There was nothing that Todd could do.
Yeah. Been very impressed by Shepard's play in this tournament.
Like I said, we have seen this as Jeskai Saheeli's looking really good, and it might be just the deck to beat right now. But one thing you have to say is the people who are successful with it, they are putting in the work.
Yes.
Brad Sheppard showing us that. Looking at the sideboards, Todd Anderson now down a game. We see Lost Legacy, Natural State, To the Slaughter, Yaheni's Expertise, and then a bunch of larger cards, Ishkana, Khalidus, Nissa, Gearhulk. Now, one thing that Todd was saying, talking this round about Lost Legacy, he said he actually has not boarded it in at all this tournament. Not sure that he needed it this weekend.
Yeah, I guess the combo, you're not sure how much stuff they're leaving in. You're already going to have a torrential Gearhulk problem. As we see the way that Shepard plays this deck, he just uses one of the combo pieces to blink the Gearhulks for value. So the Lost Legacy is not terribly effective. The two the Slaughters are going to be quite good. You can expect a bunch of Planeswalkers in Shepard's deck that can take care of torrential Gearhulk as well. Ishkana is a way to get on the battlefield with significant amount of creatures, for something like a Fumigate to clean that up, or a counterspell on the way down. And the Planeswalkers are pretty good at value, as well as a Tireless Tracker. So that's all the kind of stuff that we've been seeing the Delirium players bringing in this matchup.
Yeah, now there's something which actually you have to point out with Lost Legacy. You cannot name an artifact, and the way these games are playing out, I would think if Todd could take any card from Shepard's deck, it would be the Torrential Gearhulk.
Yes.
But if you can't do that, I'm not sure there's a place for this card. You know, I'm not grabbing Saheeli Rai. I don't know if Todd, that's good enough.
Well,
I don't know.
It's not very exciting.
All right, Brad Sheppard's side. We have Trail of Evidence, Dispel, and then a whole 11 1-drops. Another Gearhulk, Void Shatter, Negate. I'll let you read through the list here, but why don't you pick out the ones we like?
We like Nahiri the Harbinger. There's a strong argument for the other Oath of Chandra to clean up any early Grim Flayers. That's one of the ways that the Jeskai Saheeli deck can lose this matchup. The extra Fumigate is excellent here. Declaration in Stone, again, another way to deal with the early Grim Flayers. That's quite powerful. Torrential Gearhulk's just been amazing all weekend, every time it's been cast. So, yeah, fourth one of those. Why not?
You know, there was a thing when we were watching earlier rounds this weekend. Some of these Jeskai players were playing 2 Gearhulks. So, I want to talk about the people who made the top 8. We have 4 Torrential Gearhulk players in top 8. 4 Jeskai players. All of them are playing 3 Gearhulks, and a lot of them are playing the 4th on the board. I think if you showed up today playing 2 Gearhulks in your 75, you were wrong.
You were at a Gearhulk deficit.
Yeah, this is a Saheeli deck, yes, but the engine seems to be Torrential Gearhulk.
Yes.
So over at StarCityGames.com, it's late Sunday, which means it's your last chance at this week's weekly sale. We have Kaladesh boxes and more of our sealed product on sale. Kaladesh boxes under $80, so you want to grab those because starting tomorrow morning at 10:59 Eastern Time, we will switch over to our next week. So grab those this evening and check in next week for more great deals over at Star City Games. Todd on the play now for game number 2. Getting so close to winning that game, especially when you have the turn where Brad had to stabilize through double Mind Rack Demon. I will say I was not sure that he was going to be able to take that one.
Yep. You know, Shepard, he had some white mana woes in the early game. 5 land drops, no white source. Ultimately ended up recovering, started casting Nahiri, started casting Glimmer of Genius. It was really the turn where he was empty-handed and he top decked Glimmer. That's when things started to go south for Todd fast.
Todd Anderson, now living in Roanoke, Virginia, originally from Alabama. You can correct that on here. He has broken the age record, 30 years of age, and this is his 31st top 8 he notched today.
Yeah, really impressive.
And game will start here for game 2. Todd kept keeping on a 6. Last game was Brad on 6. And we see at least 1 Fumigate in Shepard's hand. Playing 2 in the main.
And no play on 2 from Todd.
No, and that's not a good sign at all for Todd.
No play on 3 from Todd. If he has something like a Tireless Tracker, it makes sense to hold on to that until you can make a land drop.
Right. Now, the danger if he doesn't get onto the board early would be that when Shepard's deck threatens a combo, it kind of has a Stone Rain effect on Todd where he can't use all his mana. And if Shepard does that too early and Todd doesn't have anything on the board, he gets pinched.
Yeah, if Shepard just casts turn 3 Saheeli, suddenly that turn 4 Tireless Tracker looks a lot worse.
Yeah, or like Mind Rack Demon, you'd be like, wait, I can't play these, right?
Right.
I mean, they're just going to trade land drops, but this is not the game Todd wants to play. But Brad will play it, sure. His 4th land drop will be tapped even. leaving up a Void Shatter perhaps. This is great news for him. Across the brackets, we have some results for you. So far, everything going according to seed. Number 2 seed, Dylan Donegan, takes game 1 over Corey Lynch. 3 seed, Luke Feeney, the player who went all the way so deep as to not even play the combo in his combo deck. He takes game 1. And Max Postjan taking game 1 over Jeffrey Ashkin. Todd did make his first play on turn 5. But you got to think at that point, it's not really going to play. The Virtus Gearhulk is hit by Void Shatter. So Todd will try another 5. And this one might even be the better one if it works. It is Obnixilis Reignited. And there we go. Todd gets to stick that. That could be what he was looking for.
And I believe that Shepard has a Harness Lightning, but he has not drawn any Ether Hubs this game, so he wasn't able to kill the Gearhulk with the trigger on the stack.
Yeah, if you have just 1 energy, that's a play he could have definitely made. But now you see his Shepard plays his 6th land. This Obnixilis, that's some life for Todd here.
Yeah. So if Todd uses a lot of mana to cast a spell, then Shepard can Gearhulk back Void Shatter, get on the board that way, start pressuring the Obnixilis. If Todd just hangs out, he forces Brad to be more proactive.
I mean, look back at Obnixilis. Now, Ryan, I haven't seen this in a long time, but Jeskai Saheeli, the deck's not very good against Planeswalkers, and Todd's only a couple turns away from making this emblem.
Yes. That makes you lose life fast.
Yeah, 2 per turn, and that's both. It's whenever any player draws a card, Brad would lose 2 life. That's really fast. You see Obnixilis up to 7. The Walking Archive, or Ballista rather, from Todd. End step, Shepard is going to cast Torrential Gearhulk, getting back Anticipate. Says go. Todd might just try to play defense here for his Planeswalker. But Shepard having none of that. He's going to try to remove the blocker with an Oath of Chandra.
And if Shepard is able to connect with the Torrential Gearhulk on the Obnixilis, it not only takes Todd away from the emblem, but it also leaves the Ob on 2 loyalty, which is not enough to destroy a creature.
Todd's going to try a fancy play. He's going to Grasp of Darkness the Gearhulk. If that resolves, he's going to finish it off with the Ballista. And it does. So Obnixilis has been protected.
And very close to going for the ultimate here.
Yeah. Land 7 from Shepard. Now remember, on 8 lands, that's when we get into Saheeli Rai plus Felidar Guardian plus Negate, which that interaction, if it happens, does not care about an Obnixilis emblem.
Does care about 2 removal spells.
Yeah, Todd has some of those. Draws again. Obnix goes to 8. Todd just passes, daring Shepard to kill the Obnixilis. Shepard plays Glimmer of Genius. Now, does he have... He could hit Quarantine Field here, right? He has some... That might be his only way to knock the Planeswalker off. I think that's it. No creature lands either for Shepard. So he needs to find a combo or a Quarantine Field. Draws a white card, but I think it's a Fumigate.
I believe we have a Quarantine Field.
We do have it. Yeah, here's Quarantine Field. And
timely.
It is the out that Shepard needed. And Todd, pause. Yeah, you get it. Obnixilis gone. We are still playing. 3 Fumigates. All 3 of them in Shepard's deck are in his hand right now. And now we'll see Todd Anderson try to rebuild both life totals very high.
Things were looking good for Todd for a minute there when we had active Obnixilis, had that sort of Phyrexian Arena effect, was drawing a lot of extra cards. So now that that's off the table, you know, Shepard was casting Glimmer of Genius, drawing extra cards that way. He's got a full grip too.
Yeah, both players are actually having a 6-card hand right now, which if you're going to start a game at 20 life each and 6-card hands each, that probably still favors the Jeskai deck. But Todd has kept it close, especially considering how slow his start was. And now we'll try to push farther. With Traverse the Ulfenvault, it does not have Delirium yet. Now he does for following turns, but that's it. Players will just trade some land drops. Bradley passes. His hand is, it's a fun one. Like I said, 3 Fumigates. Anderson, a Winding Constrictor. So for as much mana as these players have, they are making some very small plays.
Something big's coming now.
Here's a Gearhulk. Getting Glimmer of Genius. It's pretty perfect.
And, you know, Todd can kill the Gearhulk, but
that's not really the point.
Exactly. Brad gets to scry 2, draw 2 cards, get a removal spell out of Todd's hand if that's what happens.
Shepard draws land Anticipate off the Glimmer, then he casts the Anticipate, finding, I think, a Glimmer. Okay, I see how this works. We're just getting extra cards.
Yeah. Once you're glimmering into Glimmer, very high chance that you're drawing nothing but gas.
Ether Hub for Brad Shepard. All right, so looks like we might main phase fire yet another one off. Actually, let's try for Felidar Guardian. We're going to get way greedier. Felidar Guardian, it will target Oath of Chandra. Okay, removing.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not greedy at all, actually.
No, takes care of the creatures. Hits. He could hit for 5. Sees a Hissing Quagmire and decides against it.
Yeah, Shepard is not done blinking and flickering his Torrential Gearhulk.
His hand, 3 Fumigates, Harness Lightning. To the Slaughter from Todd on end step. That's, yeah, takes the Felidar Guardian. Best he could do. So Shepard doing a great job of just trading resources, but Todd will try to trade back. Ruinous Path. He's keeping it pretty conservative here. He could have gone for an Awaken, but that would have left him perhaps dead, so he just plays it for 3 and plays a Winding Constrictor. And for Brad, the engine keeps running. Anticipate, finds another blue Gearhulk, which goes into his hand. I like this deck. This is great. And my Anticipates find blue Gearhulks, which flashback anticipates finding blue Gearhulks, and that you can loop that sentence around a few times.
And the only reason that we haven't seen more Torrential Gearhulks to this point has just been the power level of Emrakul, the Prowess End, prior to its banning.
It doesn't matter if I have 7 cards in my hand. In fact, it's a liability if you're about to take my turn.
Right.
I'd rather have 0. Over on another table, Corey Lynch, the one black-green aggro player, evens it up against Dylan Donegan, forcing a 3rd game. And Todd going to commit a bit harder here. It's Verdurous Gearhulk, putting counters on both itself and the Constrictor. A swing for 5, and I love this from Bradley, where, okay, he got Todd to play a 2nd creature. Now he can fumigate them.
Yep. Shrugs his shoulders, takes 5. Time to gain 2.
And here we have the sweeper. Shepard back up to 17. Drew Nahiri for the turn. Be interested to see if he goes for that. And it looks like he will. Fine enough to tap down this turn. Plays the Planeswalker. Pluses it to 6. I wonder, he could get rid of one of these extra Fumigates. And yeah, that's what he's going to do. Trade it for a new card.
Yeah. Was certainly heavy on that one.
And 2 damage off that Oath of Chandra. Which, amusingly enough, did, 8 damage last game? It was pretty good.
Yeah. Well, this game, it's already killed 1 creature, been Felidar Guardian to kill a 2nd creature.
Mind Rack Demon. Todd just has to continue to deploy threats here and hope that Shepard can't answer them. The longer we go in this game, the less likely that keeps looking. For Todd, it is Demon plus a Grimflayer and a pass. Guess Shepard did get rid of a Fumigate. Makes that look better. Of course, there's another Fumigate in Shepard's hand if he wants it here.
Yeah. Neither of these creatures are tapped, so Nahiri can't take care of them. Well, Nahiri is threatening to do some real damage to Todd, assuming that Brad is able to clean up these creatures otherwise.
Six-card hand still for Brad Shepard. Playing the control role so well. Loots away Harness Lightning into another land. Yeah, here's the 3rd Fumigate. 2 more life, Shepard up to 19. He is 2 for 1ing his way through Todd's cards.
And given that Brad discarded a Fumigate, Todd was probably relatively certain that the 3rd one was there, but he can't just play 1 creature. He's already under a Nahiri.
I mean, if you don't do that, if you only play one card a turn, it's never going to work.
You can choose the way you want to die.
So Shepard goes for Saheeli Rai. In response, Todd to the slaughters him so that the 8 loyalty Nahiri goes away. But Shepard scries to the bottom, plays a land, and Oath deals 2. Todd down to 12. And we still have great 3 cards in Shepard's hand. Harness Lightning, Torrential Gearhulk. Todd activates Hissing Quagmire, casts Verdurous Gearhulk, trying to get that Saheeli off the table, but no, Shepard is at the ready with Harness Lightning. So Todd, no cards in hand, just a 6/6 Gearhulk. It is the last card Shepard needs to get through, and I think he can do it. Oh, and he can do it in styles. Draws Glimmer of Genius for the turn.
He has a Torrential Gearhulk in hand, and more than enough mana to cast that with 4 additional mana. Gonna scry first with this Saheeli.
Yeah, puts one on the bottom. So it means we're not... Looks like we're not going to have one of those infinite Gearhulk turns. But he does pass back to Todd with a great hand. And our first result, Luke Feeney in the Jeskai Mirror. That was our backup feature match. A 2-0 win. The Jeskai control deck, just getting rid of the combo, a clean win over Jeskai Saheeli.
And Todd goes to attack Saheeli with the Verdurous Gearhulk, but it has been decommissioned.
Wow. Yeah, that is the 3-mana instant. Destroys an artifact or a creature. Revolt, gain 3 life. Interested to see that in Brad's deck. It's a little narrow, but when it's good, it is so good.
They can frequently be difficult to kill a Verdurous Gearhulk.
Yep. Is that the only target? Wow. I mean, I get it. It's really showing respect for the card.
Some of the games where you lose is when you have to 1-for-1 them a bunch, you don't have Fumigate, and they just make an 8/8 Gearhulk.
And now Todd Anderson, 1 card in hand, and Shepard just pulling away 11 energy. Saheeli ticks up to 6. Passes. It is Harnessed Lightning, 2 lands, and a blue Gearhulk remaining in Shepard's hand, and his graveyard has just about every spell he could want.
Going to be difficult for Shepard to lose this one.
Yeah, Todd has lost all his Hissing Quagmires at this point. He is just a stack of lands. The 2-for-1s happened enough where Brad has run him out of cards. But Todd can still play off the top of his deck. Here is Nissa Vital Force. Brad's got to decide, does he have to kill that? I guess it only has 5 loyalty, right? And if Brad has a 5/6, he could, this is great, instead of Gearhulk a counterspell, he could just like Gearhulk a Glimmer here, right?
Block the 5/5 with this 5/6.
Yeah, attack back at Nissa.
Nissa Vital
Get
Force,
more cards.
a lot better in the non-blue control matchups.
Yeah. Yeah, here's the Gearhulk, but I really hope he flashbacks Glimmer instead of the counterspell. Yes.
You can't pass on that value.
This is perfect. Top and bottom, you will draw 2, and maybe he gets the counterspell too. Or he could get his 4th Gearhulk. Yes, more Gearhulks. This one's going to get a counterspell. But I don't know, there was a Glimmer left. But speaking of Glimmer, there is nothing left for Todd Anderson. A 2-0 win, and the overall 1 seed, Brad Shepard, is on to the semifinals.
Shepard, we've had him on camera twice now. He's been playing excellently, really leveraging Torrential Gearhulk more than other players that we've been featuring. I really like the way he's playing. I like his build of the deck. Congratulations on the top 4. Still a great weekend for Todd Anderson. He did start the tournament at 5-3. And then was able to pull through, making it as our 8th seed, his 31st top 8. That is certainly a great accomplishment for Todd. Surpassed his age with his number of open top 8s. But for Shepard, we'll see if he's able to actually take this whole tournament down.